Welcome to the world of quanta. An electron, when exposed to heat, will begin to vibrate, oscillate, and/or spin faster. Also, when an electron is exposed to pressure, it will condense. When the electron spins faster or condenses to a certain point, it will cause a specific amount of potential energy to be released. Going forward, when I refer to spin, it includes vibrate, oscillate, and/or spin. The electron moved from one ring to the outer ring. It releases a specific amount of energy when it reaches the next outer ring. The specific amount of energy released is a packet of energy named quanta. The original thought of the specific packet of energy was proposed by Newton when he used the term corpuscle. I want to give credit to Newton, but I will use the term quanta because it sounds better and is more familiar to most people today. When the electron returns to its original ring, it also returns to its normal size and spin rate. Although scientists understood the phenomena, they could not make the math work. Max Planck came up with the equation that made the math work. His equation showed that energy was released in specific packets called quanta. Even though he came up with the formula, he called the formula a fluke and a mathematical trick. He was a Newtonian and could not accept the implications that an electron could go from one ring to another without intermediate steps. In other words, the electron disappears from one ring, then appears at another ring without anything happening in between. This is called the quantum leap. Because I accept the ether theory, I can explain this seemingly weird quantum leap in a manner that makes sense. You be the judge. The ether reality is actually another dimension. When the electron goes from the physical reality to the ether reality, it really doesn't move anywhere, it just drops into a different dimension. This gives an explanation of what exactly happens during the time of the quantum leap. The electrons with normal and density and spin will be in the physical reality. When the electron increases in spin and/or density to a certain point, it blinks out of the visible reality and into the ether dimension. As the electron increases in spin and/or density, it moves to the next ring of the atom. The electron releases energy, winks, when it reaches the next ring. The released energy is a specific amount called a quanta. After the electron releases the quanta of energy, its spin rate and/or density reduces as it returns to the original ring. When the electron returns to its original spin rate and/or density, it blinks back into the visible reality, and the spent realized energy will disperse back into the ether to maintain balance. So what looks like an electron momentarily disappearing from one ring blinks out and releases a quanta of energy, wink, in the area of the outer ring, then reappears in the inner ring, blinks in, is not really weird science if you believe in the ether. The ether occupies the same space as the visible reality, only in a different dimension. We cannot observe the electron when the spin rate and/or density increases to the point that it becomes part of the ether. This line represents the Planck constant, the point between the visible reality and the ether. Any matter whose spin and/or density increases to the point where it falls below the level of the Planck length will enter into the ether dimension. This is impossible for empirical scientists to accept because it goes beyond the ability of human observation. To them, this seems weird. However, it makes sense if you accept the ether theory. To clarify some points, remember that the density and the spin rate of matter is directly proportional to the intensity of energy. So in order to stay in balance, when the electron increases in spin and/or density, a directly proportional amount of energy will be released. This proportional energy of matter becomes realized energy. The ether field keeps the balance with the visible reality. Tesla stated that all energy comes from the environment. In my opinion, what he meant was that all realized energy comes from the ether. He understood that energy was all around us. He only needed to tap into it. And now you know more of the story. Stay tuned.
This is John McCamick with Truth University. Good day.